Hello, dear student. And so we will to discuss about ancient Chinese philosophy. It's important to note that one of the features of ancient philosophy it's social orientation. The cult of the family and respect for tradition was the basic of the Chinese philosophy. Let's get to the presentation. We will consider just a few key issues of this philosophical system. Since like any other ancient national philosophy, Chinese philosophy is multifaceted and deep. We will consider with you the basic concepts of the Chinese worldview. We will discuss the philosophical schools of ancient China and their relevance for modern man. Primary philosophical reasoning in ancient Chinese culture was closely related to their myths. According to ancient Chinese myths, at the beginning there was some house, and at some point the beginning appeared, which is called Pangu in myths. Pangu grew for many thousands of years, and at some time everything around him began to appear from his body parts: plants, animals, and people. A certain order in the world began to form. Light particles began to rise up and the sky was formed. Heavy particles began to descend and the earth was formed. The heavenly beginning began to be called Yan. It personified strength, openness, intelligence. The earthly beginning began to be called Yin. It personified mystery, isolation. It's often associated with the feminine principle. Thanks to these two principles, everything that exists in the world appears. The material nature of all things is formed by their basic 5 elements: water, fire, wood, metal, and earth. The interchange of the forces takes place thanks to the invisible Qi energy. According to the Chinese worldview, everything in this world has its own purpose or path. This is world order the Chinese call Dao. Living right is living in harmony with the Tao. Tao translates the way. If you don't follow your paths, it means disrupting the world order. How do we know this? In antiquity, 5 main treatises were prepared. They are the backbone of China's culture. Each treatise is devoted to certain areas of public life. As a rule, these books were written for a long time. They don't have a specific author. Book of Songs, Book of Changes, Book of Legends, notes on the perfect order of things, government and rights, and book on the principality of law. These are five main written sources of Chinese culture. The third conditionally divides the formation of Chinese philosophy into two periods. The periods of the formation of the five main books and the period of the 100 schools. The period of 100 schools is the rapid flowering of Chinese philosophical thought. At this time, many philosophical schools were formed. Individual thinkers stand out. Despite the fact that many schools are being formed, research identified several main directions of Chinese philosophy of this period: Confucianism, Taoism, Legism, Moism, Yin-Yang school, and School of Ming. Many of you have heard about the State Confucius. Confucius is called not only the father of Chinese philosophy, but also the teacher of 10 generations. Confucius lived in period of endless wars. The focus of Confucianism is on the problems of ethics, politics, and human education. He was very strict about order, explaining that a chaos in the world can occur if the world order, or in a religious sense, the will of heaven is violated. Confucius himself did not consider himself a genius. He often repeats that he only relies on the wisdom of the past. Later, the students of Confucius collected and wrote down all of his sayings and edifications. This is how Lun Yui treats a period. Confucius viewed the family as a state, and he considered the state as a family. In his teaching, particular importance is given to the image of the ideal person. Confucius agreed that if everyone followed the rules, there would be order in the family, and the state will flourish. An ideal person should rule the state. Confucianism places a considerable emphasis and respect between children and parents. The son must be the son. The father must be the father. This is the basic principle of Confucian ethics. The cult of the family in the culture of ancient Chinese is connected with this. The teaching of Confucius aimed at forming an active civil servant who honors his parents and ancestors, and does everything to create a big friendly family. Some research oppose the Confucius school and the Tao school to each other. In fact, Confucianism is aimed at the outer life of a person, and Taoism is aimed at the inner spiritual world of a person. Lao Tzu is considered to be the founder of Taoism. Unlike Confucius, he is a semi-historical and semi-legendary personality. The formation of the doctrine of Tao is associated with his name. The energy that gives strength to Tao is called De. In order not to disrupt the world order, it is important that all world energy goes its own way. In Taoism, the principle of non-action is important. It means that there is no need to interfere with the world order. Taoism aims at inner focus. Taoism is aimed at making a person learn to perceive reality as it is. From the 4th century in China, Buddhism spreads under the influence of which Confucianism is modified by incorporating elements of Buddhism and Taoism. The philosophical trend of New Confucianism arose. The deification of Confucius is gradually taking place. The cult of the founder of the doctrine entailed in an increasing deification of the emperor. The will of the emperor is elevated to an immutable law, and superstitious fear was also inspired by the symbol of imperial power, the dragon, a powerful and omnipotent mystical animal. Reformed Confucianism remained the official ideology of China until the 20th century, when it is subjected to devastating criticism during the Cultural Revolution. Currently, Confucianism is recovering its influence in some countries. And so the philosophy of ancient China is very specific, but the ideas and questions that they raised in ancient times remain relevant today. We will discuss this in more detail with you as practical works. Thank you. Goodbye.